Welcome to Grief Uprooted, a podcast dedicated to sharing your grief stories. Together, we embark on the mystery of one's grief journey as they learn to live, heal, and be courageous in a world rooted in trauma. Join myself, Christine, in an open discussion to help you uproot the grief in all our lives. I am an award-winning author, professional speaker, and humanitarian in the field of grief and trauma. I want you to be part of the discussion. Hello, and welcome back to Grief Uprooted. I'm just so excited that this community is growing. Before we start today's episode, just take a moment and click that follow button. It's just been amazing. Your questions, your love, your support. Thank you for it all. I'm just watching Grief Uprooted just grow, and grow even more. So do take the time to click the follow button. Support us on social media. Click follow there too, wherever you listen to this podcast, your YouTube channel. It's just so great to have you all here and to feel that love and support. So I keep hearing all your questions. I keep hearing some of the ideas you have. The lineup of guests is growing and growing. So today's topic is one that is such a valuable tool when we're grieving. So a lot of people have asked for this, and I've taken the time to compile a few different ideas. And what am I talking about? Journaling. The value of a journal. I think it's kind of got like this cliche to it because people are like, you journal, and it's something that we did in the older times, I guess, or the older days where we'd write letters to each other and place them in the mail. And now everything is done on the computer. But there's so many different versions of journals that we can look at. So before we start that, I'm going to kind of take you all the way back to 2000, actually, September 11th terrorist attacks. And what I mean by that is that was where my first publication, Where's Robert? I'm just going to, this little book here. Over 8,000 copies were used for the families and the children affected by the September 11th terrorist attacks in New York City and the Pentagon. And Where's Robert actually comes with a memory box, but one of the things it does come with is special memories and you were to put in your loved one who has died and written by. So it was actually giving the child the opportunity to write their own story. That has always been one of the passions close to my heart, is giving people the ability to write their own stories and share their own stories, because I do believe that's the way we heal. And this little journal is included in the Where's Robert Grief Kit. And also included with the Where's Robert Grief Kit is the opportunity for these children to do what we used to do, take out pen and paper and write to me. And I love when I get these in the mail because, it's like, again, putting grief, giving it a visual, putting it down on paper. And so I receive these letters quite often and take the time to respond. During September 11th, it was a massive outpouring. So, I guess it's never too late, and it's always great to thank people because so many people volunteered their time to answer all those letters. And the postal company was great in giving us space to do that in. But people need to write, people need to express. And there's so many ways to do that, but one of the best ways is to take pen to paper. Take that time to journal. You can also do this on your laptop, your computer. I personally find pen and writing cathartic. And obviously, as I'm an author of numerous books, but I wanted to give you a way to start this for yourself, because a lot of people do get stuck on, where do I start and what do I start to write about? A lot of journals turn into books. All my books are from personal lived experiences that I've had, and I'm constantly journaling. I believe that we need to get this crap, emotions, feelings, anger, sadness, happiness, all of this that we carry within ourselves, onto paper. That clears up the body, mind, and soul to mend, heal, and really explore and grow in other ways. So, some of the journals you can get simple journals such as this. A lot of the children I work with, we have lots of fun journals. And this one in itself is quite funny. This one was actually bought to me by a good friend, and I absolutely love her, but it's called Fuck It. And it's actually a planner, but when you open it up, it has you know, things to do. And obviously, it's using foul language through the whole journal. And this might be suitable for those who are into this that really want that humor side there to help lighten. A lot of times people think humor and grief is wrong. It's actually a way of dealing with our emotions. Sometimes it is so heavy and so hard. Laughter is evoked, and that's okay. That's okay because we need to know that it's okay to express these emotions however they are expressed. Dirty moments and triggers, they can hit you at any given time. I wanted to take a step back and explain what a trigger or dirty moment is. A lot of us think about triggers and we think about negative thoughts and negative emotions, but triggers can also be happy. They are often referred to as PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. These are common things that happen when we're grieving. It is a full on body experience. You may feel your hands get sweaty. You may start to sweat. You'll feel your heart start to pound. And what we need to do is ground ourselves and take a deep breath. Triggers are part of grieving, it is part of the process. Take the time to pull out pen and paper and journal, or know when to go to a friend or somebody and talk it through. Every time you have a dirty moment or a trigger, just remember this is part of the process. This is part of our grief. And together we will work through this and together we will heal. So, a fuck it journal or planner may very well be something where you want to start if you are thinking of starting a journal and going, this is too serious for me. That's one way to do it. One of the ways I love doing it also is I do have a planner. A lot of people who work with me or I've coached have often said, the one thing you taught me was to every day get up and write a to-do list. A to-do list is very much the best way to start your journaling because your to-do list is not just about, we're talking about a grief to-do list. And I think that's one of the major things we have to think here. On Grief Uprooted, we need to understand when we're given these coaching techniques that we have to put that layer of grief. It does change things. And it does because it's harder to kind of take that first step. So a to-do list for somebody who is grieving is very much like a back to school list for children who are grieving. We want to write down the things we need to accomplish that day, which might be getting out of bed, maybe going for a walk, going to work, making sure we eat, making sure that we perhaps need couple glasses of water throughout the day to keep ourselves hydrated, to make sure that we do have lunch or we bring a snack with us. Grieving is hard. It takes a lot of energy. And we don't want to put ourselves in a vulnerable position where we're like, hey, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that. This to-do list is the start. I also put on my to-do list because I've now expanded this greatly, running 2 different corporations and doing public speaking, professional speaking, and doing that, traveling with that all the time. Every morning I like to get up and I section it out, and I will put, Nick's Truck Parts, the one company I own, and what I need to do for that. Then I will put NCV coaching, Grief Uprooted, and Robert's Press. That's all this stuff. I put that down and I write lists under each of it. And then I have one that's self-care. What am I doing for me? What am I going to do for myself? Then I have family, the obligations and things that I want to do with my family. So this doesn't seem like a journal to you, but it is a start. It is a start to go, what does my life really consist of? What are things that I commonly do? If you were to flip back through those to-do lists, and I keep all of mine for decades, and just tapping back into 9/11, I look at some of my to-do lists are my agendas. And it brings back all these memories. It floods me with memories going, you know, this was the time where my to-do list was very much career focused, but it was so impactful on my life. And seeing some of the things like, you know, CHCH or NBC, or you know, you're going to be on breakfast TV, or you're going to be doing this, or you're going to the Pentagon that day. You know, it's sometimes it's surreal to believe that that even happened to me. And I know for you grieving out there, it's surreal that someone you love might have died. And working in this industry, I know that people can die in other people's arms. I know that car accidents happen. I know traumatic death happens. And these are all triggers, these are all memories we have. And sometimes we think, is our mind playing a trick on us? And that is one of the values of journaling. Journaling allows you to process and ruminate and gain an understanding of what's happening inside. It's allowing you to kind of mull things over. And, you know, you mull it over in your mind, you think you've grasped it. And then a couple days later, you're still wondering. A couple days later, you're like, did I really understand that right? Or should I be looking at it in a different perspective? I know that one of the podcasts we talk about the four C's, and understanding when we're asking other people for advice, really placing them, you know, are they constant in my life? Are they someone who cares for me? What's their character like? And what challenges have they faced in life? So that we understand everybody's perspective of our situation will be different. But what really, really, really matters, and what journaling is for you to put down what you instinctually are struggling with. So you be honest in this journal. We don't, I know sometimes I think when I write in my journal, I think, oh, geez, what if somebody reads this? Ugh. That doesn't matter. Nobody's going to read it. It's your journal. I have in the past, and personally and with clients, written letters, and we burn them. And, you know, when we're trying to release things and let things go, a journal does not need to be a full book. A journal can be a couple pages that you've written something down on, and you may need to release that. So, yeah, you may need to burn it safely, or you may need to let it go by ripping it up. Soaking it in water dissolves paper quite easily. These are all different things that you may need to do, but the very first step is getting it down on paper. Is getting it down on paper. And the reason I'm showing you these different journals, because it does matter what it looks like. It really does. For the children who read Where's Robert, their journal is made exactly to represent Where's Robert. Why? Because there's a connection there. Once they read Where's Robert, they end up having that connection to the character Chrissy. They end up writing to me, and theirs comes with a memory box also. So it's really giving their grief a place to be put, to be articulated and seen. So the other part of that, once you found a journal that you're liking, and they range in cost. I'm just going to tell you right now, some journals are excruciatingly expensive, and some you can just find at the dollar store. Really, you just need paper and a pen. However you want to start. I do have some amazing journals that people have given me, or I've actually purchased because I just love the look of them. And I wake up in the morning and I love to journal and just write a bit of really what I'm struggling with, what I'm thinking, and what I'm feeling. And it usually ends up eventually into a book. So my last book, Dying to Live, one of the chapters, and what I did in this book is a lot of activities. And through the podcast, we are going to do a lot of these activities, but today we're focused on journals. And what I like to do with people is really kind of start. So I'm going to start here with you. Hopefully you have your journal. And if not, just recall some of these questions or write them down or replay this podcast. So the first step we're going to do when starting a journal is, a lot of times you're like, what do I write? Okay, today the weather is nice. Today I feel this. No, let's start more concrete. So I'm going to ask you these questions, and you're welcome to write them down and answer them, or you could start your journal like this. When something happy happens, who do you first call to share it with? and why. So, when something exciting and happy happens in your life, such as a job promotion, such as you just had a great day, who's the first person that you call? Who's the first person you share that with? And start your journal off with, this happened to me, and I called so and so. And then ask yourself why. Why do you choose that person? Why do you call that person? The next question: when something sad or bad happens, who do you first call and share it with, and why? So when something sad happens, who do you first reach out to? Who's that person that you're going to call? And why do you call that person? Now, a lot of times it's the same person, but sometimes it can differ. Sometimes, it can be somebody else. You could have multiple people that you like to reach out and talk to when happy or sad things happen. But this is the start of your journal. It's the start of who's in your life right now. Next question: with whom do you laugh the most? This includes animals. So, who do you spend your time laughing with? I know you're grieving and you think laughter is not returning. It is. It is. You'll have these moments where you'll remember something and a smile will come across your face. Definitely. Definitely. When we love somebody, when they die, that love does not dissipate. It becomes memories, but they still will make you giggle. They still will make you smile. But during this grief journey, who is somebody you laugh with? It could be your dog. It could be your cat. You wake up every morning and you see them. I know myself. I wake up every morning and my Rosie and Gizzy are in my face, and Rosie just makes me laugh. As soon as I see those big brown eyes in my face, it's kind of like, get out of bed. I need to go to the washroom. I want to go outside. And that makes me giggle. So, who do you laugh with? Who really is there that makes you laugh, or you're capable of relaxing enough and laughing with? Your next question. This is an important one. Who drains your energy? That's you know what? I cannot say enough about that. But who really just drains everything you have? You are grieving. You may be years past, you may be 16, 20 years. I think mine is over 30, but my job keeps me there some days. Um, and there's still those people who drain you on an everyday. So who drains you? Who do you have to limit your time with? Because when you leave them, you're going to be exhausted. Now, remember, this is a personal journal. This isn't something you're sharing with people. This is for you, only you, and it's for you to let go of stuff. So who drains your energy? The next, who fills you with energy? And I'm going to just throw a twist right there. The same person who drains you could possibly be the person who fills you with energy. And that is a weird concept, but often happens. That person who exhausts you also could be the person who fulfills you, who lifts you up, who causes you to feel this energy within yourself and go, yeah, I can do things. So, who's the person that fills you up with energy, and who's the person that drains you? And lastly, who do you love? Now, who do you really love without borders and without necessity? And what do I mean by that? Who is in your life right now that you really, really love? Obviously, we can write down the person we love who has passed or died. We really, really love them. We all know that grief is that unconditional love that we felt for somebody. We would not grieve if we did not love at the level that you have loved your loved one and they died. We're grieving that. We're grieving what we thought our future would be, and it no longer is. So when you think about who do you really love right now, who's in your life that you love unconditionally without necessity, like this person you have just chosen to love, again, could be an animal. Our pets are always around us and we're always loving them. And who really changes you? So this can be the start. This can be the start of your journal, and really just writing about your environment and your life. You will find as you start to answer these questions, they start to grow, they start to expand. You start to go, wait a minute, this person drains my energy. Why do they drain my energy? And it could be numerous things. They could be that friend who just comes over and dumps. And you're like, holy smokes, this person just keeps dumping all their problems on me. And sometimes in grief, we love to worry about other people's issues because then we don't have to face our own. And we also look and want to help other people, and we end up getting compassion fatigue. All these different things come into play. Another great thing for the journal, we're doing dirty moments. Those are those nasty triggers that hit us when we're not expecting them, and they just make everything dirty. They just make everything a complete mess. And you're like, my head is spinning, and it was just a song on the radio, and it's caused me to feel all these emotions. Or you're watching that commercial on TV and your eyes welt up and you're about to cry. These are all your emotions rising up, those triggers, those dirty moments, I like to call them. These are all things that we want to journal about. I carry my journal in my purse. I know a lot of you have seen me on social media where I always take a picture of the journal as I'm sitting on the plane because it's the best place for me to start journaling and writing. I love to write down ideas that come to my mind. You can take a page out of that journal. I usually do the very back, and it's my ideas page because so many people who have experienced grief and the amount and depth of sorrow have amazing ideas on how they're going to change the world. They have amazing ideas on how to help other people. They become entrepreneurs. They start scholarships up. They run races for fundraising. There's just a vast majority or amount of people, I can't even figure out how to express this, that use their grief in order to heal and bring healing to others. And that's where an ideas page in your journal allows you to realize that through your pain, you can bring that healing to others. And so that very last page, make it your ideas page. Make it your page to say, yeah, what can I do to help other people? And there's a variety of different ways that through your grief and through that healing process, that you will find that you do have these ideas where you think, maybe a law needs to be put in place. My brother fell over Niagara Falls. And, the very first thing I said was those signs need to be bigger. Obviously, they're not if somebody's hopping the rail to go to the washroom. And, they're there. Stupid moment he did. But I often remember thinking, how can I make it that somebody else doesn't have to experience that? And, that's a teenager for you, but we need to look at these different things, and you will have ideas. You will come up with ways that, we can help other people through our grief. And that's a beautiful thing. So an ideas page at the back of your journal, fantastic idea. So I don't want to overload you with a whole lot of stuff. This is just the start to journaling. Always love your questions. Always love your ideas. Keep them coming. And we can answer them all together. And start your journal. And really do send in some of your ideas in the sense of book titles. A journal is really the start of you becoming an author. And you can do it. Trust me. And these are topics we need to read about. These are topics we need to share with each other. So love to hear your book ideas. So that could be one of your journal questions. What would be the title of your book? And on that note, thank you for tuning in. Do click follow for me. Let's expand this and keep this growing. Super excited of what's coming up next. Until next time, take care. And remember, we only heal together. And that's how we grow. That's how we heal together. Take care, everybody. Bye. Grief Uprooted professional grief and empowerment coaching are not to be used as a substitute for professional advice by legal, medical, financial, business, spiritual, or other qualified professionals. All our products and services are designed for grief empowerment through learning and sharing of one's lived experiences.